Ladies and gentlemen, I got a question for you. Is Fikile Mbalula being targeted by his political opponents because he could one day be the next president of the Republic of South Africa?
And the only reason we think he might be president is Paul Mashatile is still being attacked by News 24 and others over his son's business interests, so we don't think he's going to survive very long. So therefore, Fikile Mbalula, according to the rules of the ANC, will become deputy president of the ANC should Paul Mashatile not be around anymore. But there has been a little stick in the spoke of those wheels because the MPA came out to say, you know what, we are not actually prosecuting Mbalula for basically having a free holiday based on a tender given to people that he knows.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, Ramon and I have been having a difference of opinion on this topic because I don't see how this is a story. Ramon, however, does. I think that this is just another story of a corrupt politician in South Africa, and it's just like, okay, well, it's just another Thursday. Ramon, however, has a different take.
I think it's very important to give the background to this. Fikile Mbalula was Minister of Sports. He went to Dubai. He had a very famous photo in a business class seat. That holiday to Dubai was paid for by a company. That company had several tenders with the state, and apparently this holiday cost 300,000 Rand. That complaint was given to the public protector at the time. The public protector said this is a bit of a corrupt agreement. Even though Mbalula paid back the 300,000, it was done under the pressure of the public protector. So then the public protector took that matter to the MPA and said, you must decide whether to prosecute this or not. I made my findings. I found corruption here. It is indicated. Since then, this was back in 2018 or 19, the MPA has done absolutely nothing to determine whether this is prosecutable or not. But AfriForum has been pushing the MPA to make a decision, and they finally made it. And the MPA says, well, there's nothing here. Despite the fact that public protector found a corrupt relationship, we don't think there is one, so therefore we're not going to prosecute him. And now AfriForum are actually very pleased with this because they're going to privately prosecute him.
The private prosecution unit is pleased that the National Prosecuting Authority finally took a decision in the matter against former Sports Minister Fikile Mbalula. However, the decision appears to be irrational and wrong in law. The NPA appears to have uncritically accepted Mbalula's version that the money for his holiday was not a gift. This is contrary to the findings of the public protector, who found he only paid back the money after the media started asking questions. While the unit also believes the payment was not a loan, the NPA's position does not provide an excuse not to prosecute Mbalula. The definition of a gratification in the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act includes a loan. The second reason provided by the NPA for not prosecuting Mbalula, that there was no quid pro quo between the parties, sadly but unsurprisingly further demonstrates the very poor understanding prosecutors have of the crime of corruption. This delay in taking a decision has invariably prejudiced the chances of a successful prosecution. But this has not deterred the private prosecution unit, which remains convinced that Mbalula has a criminal case to answer to. The unit will now carefully consider its next step to ultimately ensure that justice is done.
So here's the problem, Ramon. For the purpose of corruption or theft, there would have to be a form of intention, and intention to permanently deprive. It's very difficult to prove intention, mate. It's very difficult to prove intention because he paid back the money, right? So you may say, well, he only paid back the money because of the pressure from prosecution. Yeah, but you got to prove intention here, mate. An intention to prove isn't as straightforward as you think. You also then have to prove the causal links. Got 8 years gap between the time when it occurred and now. So to be frank, I can kind of see why the MPA would be like, this is going to be a ball ache to prosecute. And then what's the potential consequences? What? He goes to prison as a max sentence? Mate, he ain't going to prison. He paid back the money. So what? He might get a fine for not following some processes and taking some funds that he shouldn't? So what?
Well, isn't rule of law a huge benefit in a country that doesn't have any laws, Byron? I mean, even the fact that he did repay the money, he did pay back the money, as we like to say it here, there is precedence on this. If you take a loan, knowing that it is gratification, knowing that it is gratifying you as a public official, that is illegal, according to the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act. This is what AfriForum is saying. So it doesn't matter whether the money was a loan or was a bribe or was anything else, a donation. It was still gratifying to Fikile Mbalula as a public official. So therefore, it still is corruption at the end of the day. You either believe in the rule of law or you don't. You can't leave it to the whims of a captured or useless MPA to determine that, surely.
But I must say that there's bigger fish to fry than fucking Mbalula and his holiday. I mean, jeez, guys, like, I know you want to go after politicians, but there's far more bigger and impressive politicians to go after than Mbalula. I mean, who the fuck cares? It's Mbalula on holiday. But hey, what do I know? Maybe I'm just full of shit. Why don't you let us know in the comments section? What do you think? Should Mbalula be prosecuted? Should AfriForum be congratulated for this? Or is this just a waste of membership money?